2024 was an interesting year for movies, in some ways good, and in others not so great. However, there were a number of projects I truly enjoyed, some I loved, and some I could only appreciate from a technical standpoint. These are my top 20 best movies of the year. Love Lies Bleeding is an interesting pulp erotic thriller that A24 can proudly add to its daring cinematic catalog. I think the film gradually improves as it progresses. A tale of seduction, madness, and revenge. There's an intriguing combination of supernatural elements, particularly in the final section of the film. I'd even go as far as to say that those choices felt a bit of a stretch, but they showcase the film's vision of confidence and the freedom to finally accept who you are. One of the most profoundly beautiful production designs I've seen all year was in the French film The Count of Monte Cristo. This adaptation is grand in its scope, running 3 hours long, but it's still quite captivating. Pierre Ninet delivered one of my favorite performances of 2024. The Wild Robot was one of the most heartwarming films last year, showcasing the sheer excellence of DreamWorks Studio. At times, it's a breathtaking animation, with its stunning hand-painted visuals blending seamlessly with CGI counterparts. The themes of love and the sacrifice of motherly love are always important messages. The Roundup series is one of the best action franchises that not a lot of people are talking about. Don Lee knocking out guys left and right is cinema in itself, and The Roundup, Punishment, the 4th installment in the franchise, was a movie I had a great time with. It still has that signature flair and comedy, mixed with some entertaining fight set pieces. Gothic horror has never looked so alive as when Eggers came along and started delivering these sophisticated, Shakespearean-style stories. Nosferatu is another masterful entry in his filmography. While the film didn't impact me as much as his earlier works, there's no doubt that, in terms of cinematography and design, it's beautifully crafted. Lily Rose Depp had a tough task delivering such a riveting, emotionally driven character, but she succeeded. Kill was one of the most energetic and intense action films of the year. There's something about movies set on a train. They always feel inherently tense, and this was no exception. The coolest part is that the film knows exactly what it is and doesn't try to be anything more than a straightforward revenge flick, pushing all the right buttons to deliver some truly brutal moments. The Order was a film I had planned to watch sooner rather than later, and while I didn't get the chance to see it on the big screen, it's a methodical white supremacy cop thriller that delves into the complexity of the issue, highlighting how, in many ways, the perpetrators themselves are the problem, making choices without considering the repercussions. Jude Law was terrific, and I'm glad he took on a project like this, further proving just how great of an actor he is. While successful at the box office, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes feels somewhat overlooked. It's a solid addition to the Planet of the Apes franchise, and while it doesn't quite reach the same heights as its predecessors, there's still a lot to appreciate. The world building is vast, setting the stage for Noah's journey, which actually made me care about his character. Longlegs had one of the most intriguing marketing campaigns leading up to its release. The sheer brilliance of the show don't tell approach genuinely built anticipation. I think this was a very well-crafted thriller with a gripping first half, driven by its mystery. However, as the film progressed, I found its direction somewhat predictable, which lessened the impact for me. That said, it's been years since I've seen such an atmospheric thriller. Micah Monroe was excellent, reminding me why I love Clarice Starling. People might be surprised to see the substance outside my top 10, but I have no hesitation in calling it one of the most creative films I've seen in a long time. It's uniquely shot and explores modern themes of aging, addiction, and medicine, both of which play a huge role in today's society. Demi Moore was outstanding. She deserves every nomination and win coming her way. She truly stepped out of her comfort zone, and I don't think many actresses would take on a role like this. If there were ever a Ghost Recon movie, Land of Bad would be it. A nice surprise, well executed, with lots of explosions and great shootout scenes mixed with survival elements. Liam Hemsworth finally stars in a role that suits him, while Russell Crowe enjoys himself, delivering his best performance in years. I always need a movie that delivers pure B-movie entertainment, and Land of Bad certainly does. No doubt, ever since Flow won a Golden Globe, the first in Latvia's history, this animated adventure about a cat has been on a roll. The film is uniquely animated, relying solely on visual storytelling with no dialogue, making for a captivating and immersive experience. I enjoyed what I saw. It's a powerful film with themes of companionship, highlighting the connections we form in certain circumstances, even when we come from different places. Transformers 1 just might be my favorite animated film of 2024, the one I truly enjoyed the most. I'm not a huge Transformers fan, but this is by far the best film that captures the layers of Optimus Prime, while delivering a stunningly crafted world. The action set pieces are masterfully executed, all within a story that feels like a grand standalone adventure. George Miller is one angry guy, or at least that's the impression you get when watching something like Fury Road. His genius in crafting apocalyptic worlds and their stories is undeniable. Furiosa is an incredibly enjoyable and entertaining sequel to the generational milestone set in 2015. While it features more CGI shots, some of which may look a bit janky, the atmosphere remains intact, bursting with eye-popping colors. Anya Taylor-Joy had the tough task of stepping into the shoes Charlize Theron left behind, but rather than simply imitating her, she brought a fresh perspective to the character. Say what you want. Day One was one of the best horror movies of last year, with Lupita Nyong'o showcasing why she is one of the best actresses working today. This movie has tight direction, with some truly tense and awesome sequences. I like this franchise, and this film works well as a prequel, showing how it all started in the big cities. It was truly a great year for horror movies, and Heretic, directed by the same duo who wrote A Quiet Place, is a very audience-friendly horror film with thriller elements. The style feels distinctly Hitchcockian, as the story unfolds in a single location. Its thematic approach is divisive, exploring different religious theories and aspects of history that we may or may not fully understand. However, the film never pushes these ideas too far. Instead, it presents them in a subtle yet compelling way. Hugh Grant is fantastic. Exuma is a prime example of psychological horror infused with folk elements, drawing attention to East Asian occult traditions. Choi Min-sik, one of South Korea's greatest actors, was one of the main reasons I decided to watch it. The film is beautifully shot, with a cold, almost suffocating atmosphere that perfectly complements its eerie narrative. Not many people have seen it, but it was one of the best surprises of the year. I've watched Civil War twice, and I believe that with time, people will appreciate and see little nuances that Alex Garland showcased in this political film. An impressive social commentary that builds discussions and representations about societal collapse, which is inevitable to escape once it happens. Kirsten Dunst and Kylie Spaney are both fantastic, each having distinct moments in the film where they truly shine. At my number 2 is Alien Romulus. I had been excited to watch it ever since it was announced. This film is a fantastic addition to the Alien franchise, featuring outstanding production and sound design. Fede Alvarez crafted a love letter to the first 2 Alien movies, while ensuring that this story stands on its own and fits seamlessly between those classics. Kylie Spaney had a busy year, and she brought a youthful energy and freshness that the Alien series hadn't seen in a long time. There's not a single movie from last year that matched the epic grandeur of Denis Villeneuve's sand opera, Dune, Part 2. It's an incredible continuation of the first Dune, expanding into something even bigger in anticipation of what's to come next. The action is thrilling, the cinematography is breathtaking, and Hans Zimmer's score, along with the film's sound design, is nothing short of phenomenal. Dune is already the defining franchise of this decade, and something I will forever admire. Let me know in the comments which movies were your favorites. Don't forget to follow me on social media and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos.